and they just said, well, it's not good enough, and said, we don't want a set menu, and they just walked out. I think we've all had our doubts. Obviously, financially, it's a worry that we're not going to get as many people through the door. Saturday nights at the pub, like a really cool venue where you can come, have a good drink, listen to some good music. Oh my God, we went here, we ate that, and I still feel that is going to be our best course of promoting. We didn't take deposits this Valentine's night. We did last year. This year we didn't, which was a bit of an oversight for us and won't ever happen again. But please, if you can't make your table, just tell the business, because they won't mind. They'd much rather know. Welcome back to the Pub Diary on what is a huge week here for the Russell Arms. We are launching a completely new menu, kind of like a new concept. It's a real change for the direction of the pub. It's something that we've been thinking about and building on for a while. And it's, to be honest, it's probably the biggest decision we've made since we took the pub on. It's like a real, I don't feel like it's a risk, but it is definitely a massive change. So I'm going to talk today about why we're doing it, what the decision-making process was to get to this point and why we're doing it, and how how I feel about it kind of moving forward into this week. So let's get straight into it. Why did it have to change? Well, the honest truth is it didn't have to change. It didn't have to change. So this menu and the style of food that we've been doing since we opened was, I suppose you could call it gastropub. It was on from tradition. It was a level up from traditional pub food, I would say. But we did serve traditional pub food, if that makes any sense. It was really good gastropub food. Really good menus written by our head chef Lee. And it's always gone down well. And our steak nights on Thursdays continue to thrive. And our Sunday roasts are always booked out. So in that respect, we're doing well. However, we definitely started to notice Fridays and Saturdays slightly down. Bookings down, covers down, customer spend definitely down. So the menu and the direction we are going in is tapas style food. It's not Spanish. It is a mix of different dishes from all over the world, all kinds of different stuff, all with varying prices. It's a really big menu. I think there's about 35 dishes on there, made up of nibbles, small plates, to vegetarian, to meat and fish. Varying sizes, varying prices, but kind of with the idea that you can come in and order 2 plates, have a glass of wine and get out of the pub having spent 20, 30 quid. You don't have to sit down and have a full dining experience. Obviously, you can sit in here and have a full dining experience, have like that tapas style dining experience. And we would love people to do that, but it's giving people the option of, they don't have to feel like they have to come out and have a full sit down 3-course meal. They can kind of build their own dinner and build their own food and kind of keep a bit more of an eye on the spend. Because I just felt like that was kind of like the way customers were telling us they wanted it. They didn't want to necessarily come in for that sit down meal like traditionally they have done. It definitely felt like that was dwindling away. So it's a huge change for us, huge change. I think we've all had our doubts. Obviously, financially, it's a worry that we're not going to get as many people through the door. But I'm kind of thinking the other way. I'm totally excited and positive about the changes that we're making, and I really feel like it's going to work. We've had lots of discussions about it, kind of with the team, with head chef Lee, with front of house, with our front of house manager Ellie, and we're all kind of feel like this is a great direction to go in. There's not many places around here doing that, which could be a reason why, because it's a terrible idea. You always do worry about that, don't you? You always like think, well, no one else is doing it, so it's got to be great. It's like a gap in the market. Or is it a terrible idea and we shouldn't be doing it? But, we you've got to be brave, and we are being brave, and we are going to give it a really good go. We're going to market it. We're going to let people know what we're up to, and with this style of menu, we're also bringing in options for free flowing wine. So tables of 2, 4, 6 can come in, have 90 minutes of free flowing red, white, rosé, or Italian sparkling wine. And so I'm kind of hoping for a different atmosphere. Do you know what? I'm really hoping to build up Saturdays are what I really want to build on. We've got live music booked. This is a totally different story to the menu, but we've also got live music booked every Saturday throughout March, running hopefully into April, May, June, July, August, if it's successful, which I really hope it is. I really want to make Saturday nights at the pub like a really cool venue where you can come, have a good drink, listen to some good music, and that's the kind of plan. That's the build up we're looking for. Alongside that, we're still trying to stay busy at lunches. So there is still going to be sandwiches and like a separate lunch menu available during that period of time, from like 12 till 2:30. So we're still, because I'm very conscious that we still need to look after that side of our clients, because we are sometimes quite busy at lunch. We need to make sure that there's something on the menu, I think. And also fish and chips is staying. We do a fish and chips on Friday, £10 fish and chips, which has proved to be quite successful actually. So that's kind of like a good way of getting people through the door, and hopefully showing the new menu as well, which is like all important. It's like getting the word out about what we're doing here. And the best way to get the word out about what you're doing in a pub is by getting people through the door and getting them going off and telling people. Social media is, of course, very, very important, but I still feel the most important thing is word of mouth and your customers, and getting them to go and tell other people, oh my God, we went here, we ate that. And I still feel that is going to be our best course of promoting the new menu. So that's kind of the idea. That's what we're doing. I just want to talk a little bit about kind of what we're doing internally this week for the new menu, how it works. How do you do a new menu? Can you just change like that? No, you can't. Well, you can, of course you can, but that's not how we're doing it. So today is Monday. We are shut today for food all day. We are open at 5 o'clock for drinkers, but essentially we're closed today. 3 of the chefs are in at 12, and all day today they will be prepping for the new menu. So they will be getting all of their getting ahead with everything: garnishes, sauces, mains, everything they need for the new menu. They'll be getting that sorted today. Head Chef Lee's been working really hard in the background with all the costings, fridge plans, how the kitchen's going to be set up, all these little things that have to change because the menu is different, so the kitchen needs to be set up different. They need to work out what's going in what fridge, how it's going to work, where the starters are going to be, where the desserts are going to be. It's very, I've been quite surprised this time, like the planning, and like as he tells me, I need to think about this, I need to think about that. I think, yeah, well, I mean, that's something I never would have thought of, but yeah, it does. There's a hell of a lot that goes in to a new menu, particularly when you're making a big change like this. The unseen stuff that you don't really even think about. It's not just as simple as turning up and cooking new dishes. There's lots to think about behind the scenes as well. So we've done all the costing up. I think we're kind of happy with the prices now. I think we've sourced everything we need to source, apart from pecorino, which is my job. So I need to sort that today. Training for the chefs will be done as on site, basically as they're cooking the new dishes and making the new dishes. Lee will show them how he wants it all plated up, which is obviously really important because he's got visions in his head about how he wants it. He needs to get those visions out of his head and show them exactly how he wants stuff plated up. And then tomorrow is basically tomorrow. The front of house staff, we're shut all day on Tuesday. Front of house staff will come in at about 4 o'clock, and the chefs will cook off every single dish on the menu, and everyone will taste it, so they have that experience. They can talk to the customers when they ask for advice on what's a nice dish. The guys actually have something to say. They can say, "Oh, well, this is my favourite on the menu," and they'll know. Lee will talk them through ingredients, any allergy information, and it's a really good way well, it's the only way of the team to kind of like know exactly what's coming out of that kitchen, which is really important when you're talking to customers and customers are asking you questions about the new menu, because if you haven't got that answer, it's difficult. Customers do ask quite often, what do you recommend? What's your favourite dish on the menu? And to have something in the head that you actually 100% believe in, I just think makes a massive difference to customers. So the idea is to not have any last minute stress. I've had to order a load of new equipment that we need. We're also struggling at the moment because our induction hob has broken. Ever since we had a deep clean of the kitchen when we were closed in January, the induction's not been working. I'm waiting on a cleaning company to come and see if it was water damage from the clean. But I need to order a new one, but that's about $2,000, so it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Well, a bit of a pain in the wallet, to be honest. But these things happen. You need a contingency for them. Have I got much of a contingency for it at the moment? Not really. But we can't survive without a hob. So that's something I need to get sorted this week. But I'll know more about that tomorrow, because they're coming in to have a look at it tomorrow. So once we've done that, then we can make a decision, and then that'll all be sorted. So in terms of new equipment, it hasn't cost us a fortune. I'm going to get some more plates because I want. We need to work out what we're serving stuff on, but I kind of feel what works best. I'm not sure Lee would agree with this, but I just buy stuff and he kind of works out what goes on where. I kind of feel once I've bought it, he can then make food fit onto stuff, if that makes any sense, rather than trying to think what it goes on. So that's all arriving this week, which is exciting. It's always exciting when new stuff comes. Not so exciting when you have to pay for it, but it's always exciting when new stuff comes for the kitchen, particularly plates. I do enjoy plates and stuff like that coming and seeing how the dishes all look. I'm really excited to see the dishes tomorrow, to see them, because obviously you see them on paper, to actually see them come to life. Lee actually made the new beef, braised beef and onion pie. I think I've got that right, and it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. So if that's anything to go by, then everything else is going to look great. But yeah, keep an eye on our socials this week, because we'll post all the new dishes on there. So launch week, how does launch week work? So like I say, we're closed Tuesday. Essentially the launch is on Wednesday, but Wednesday is actually our quiz night, so it'll be a very soft launch. Thursday is our steak night, so the menu won't be on. So launch night really is Friday and Saturday this week. And I asked Lee, I asked Ellie, our front house manager, what do you want? They want the place to be packed. So this week, assuming everything goes fine and we're all good, come Wednesday, I'll be putting some posts out with a deal to try and get as many people through the door on Friday and Saturday as possible to test the menu, test the prices, test the feedback, make sure everything's good, everything's happy, the kitchen are happy with how everything's coming out, and then that's when you kind of hopefully iron out any problems. But I'm really looking forward to customer feedback, because like I say, it's a completely different direction, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how people embrace it. And the free flowing wine is an interesting one. That is something that not many people do around here. That's more like a London thing, isn't it? Really, bottomless brunches, bottomless lunches, but I think it's going to work really well. I really hope it does. I think it's going to create a bit more of an atmosphere, and people will hopefully stay for a bit longer. Well, they'll definitely stay for their 90 minutes, because you ain't going to leave if you've got 90 minutes of free drinks, are you? So next week's podcast will be basically about how it went, because people want, I think we give 2 hours to people on a Sunday. We could get three couples through in that space of time. So if that's what people want to do, we need to cater for that and help ourselves in trying to get more people in and out quicker in a quick time. And the way we serve our roasts has to change probably for that to work. So yeah, but just to reiterate, like I say, this isn't a desperation change. This is a change to try and follow a customer arc, a customer wave that we're seeing of how they want their dining experience to be. We may have got it massively wrong, and if we have, I will tell you, but only time will tell. And next week will tell. When I do the podcast next week, I will tell you exactly how opening weekend went and how we're doing. So yeah, that's it. That's this week at the pub. What else has happened? So I don't think I've been on since Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day was good. Obviously, that's a great day for pubs in February. It's a real shot in the arm. We were full. Oh no, I haven't spoken about it because I did like a mini rant, didn't I? I forgot. Cancellations. In fact, I'm going completely off topic. So I've spoken about them. So that's the end of the new menu and all that. So this is just a closing thought about hospitality, and I'd love to know thoughts from other hospitality venues about what happened. But so we didn't take deposits this Valentine's night. We did last year. This year we didn't, which was a bit of an oversight for us and won't ever happen again. But we were fully booked, and even on the morning of Valentine's, we were getting cancellations. But every time we got a cancellation, someone else had booked that table. So I wasn't really worried about the cancellations because I was kind of quite confident that they would still get filled up. But then on the day, there was a table of 4 booked in. And again, this is possibly on us. They turned up. We were doing a set menu. They turned up and said, "Is this the only menu you're doing?" We said, "Yes, it's Valentine's. It's a set menu." And they just said, "Well, it's not good enough." And said, we don't want a set menu, and they just walked out. Now, potentially that's on us. Maybe we should have seen a table of 4 and thought, we should probably give them a ring and just give them a nudge. But on the flip side of that, I'm not sure if you're a table of 4 booking on Valentine's night at an independent restaurant / pub. I think you should be checking if they're doing a set menu on Valentine's night, personally. But again, that works both ways. But that was really frustrating. 4 covers just gone straight away. On the flip side of that, we had 3 tables of 2 that just didn't turn up. We phoned them and they just said, "Oh no, we're not coming anymore." And that is so bad. It's so bad. So anyone listening to this, and I know that most people that do listen to this are in hospitality, so they wouldn't do it anyway. But please, if you can't make your table, just tell the business, because they won't mind. They'd much rather know, because that is a whole table of 2 they can't sell and it's just dead. Sits there empty unless they're lucky and 2 people walking off the street. So although Valentine's was good, it could have been better. So we didn't beat last year, which was a bit frustrating because we should have beaten last year and we would have beaten last year's figures. But the food was awesome. And in fact, the feedback on the food was really, 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 really good. And most of the dishes on that set menu are on the new menu, bringing it back to the new menu. So that is a real shot in the arm and a real positive and a real kind of like, positive note going into the new menu. Anyway, I'll end it there because, like I say, I'll do one next week. I'll let you know how it went. I'll let you know the feedback. I'll let you know if I think it's working. Probably by this time next week, we'll have had a good amount of feedback, I would have thought. So, I'll see. I'll see how it goes. So yeah, I did have a closing line written down, which I was going to use. For the first time in a while, it feels like we're not just keeping the pub going; we're taking it somewhere. And that does actually ring true. I think for the first time in a while, it feels like we're not just keeping the pub going. That's a bit harsh, actually. But it feels like we've kind of been in a just moving along, not really taking a risk. But this feels like it definitely feels like we're elevating in a really good way, and it's exciting, and it is new, and it is going to be really cool to see the feedback, and I'm excited. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all next week. If you haven't subscribed, please do. You can go and get this podcast from Spotify. I put it on YouTube as well. So wherever you've seen it, thank you very much for watching. And I will catch you all next week on the Pub Diary.